Okay, so welcome back to part 2 of our beginner's Pilates. So I've been told during that interval that my socks are horrendous. So my apologies. Apparently I have well-coloured stickers on it, on the bottom of them, and dog hairs. I'm not going to take the dog hairs off, but that's very important when you're in quarantine. See that up close, a little cone, traffic cone, just in case anyone needs one. So they're available here in sticker form. I'm going to leave that over here later, so forgive me for my socks, the state of my socks, and we'll continue on with part 2. So part 2, we're going to go straight into an exercise called leg stretches. So for beginners, I want you to try and raise your head, neck and shoulders up off the floor if that's comfortable for you. And I always say that in my classes, if it's comfortable for you. A lot of people have issues with their head, neck and shoulders up off the floor, and sometimes it causes more harm than good. And what we do is we use a towel, or we get a towel for some of the exercises later on. But leg stretches, really great Pilates exercise, beginner's level, pulling that knee in towards the chest as much as I can with the head, neck and shoulders up off the floor, pulling the other knee in as much as I can with the head, neck and shoulders up off the floor. My head, neck and shoulders up off the floor all the time, but if you have any strain or pain in the head, neck and shoulders, then place it back down on the floor, and you can do this exercise same way with the head, neck and shoulders on the floor. I'm going to take it up off the floor. I'm going to start. I'm going to breathe out as I pull that knee in, breathe in on the way out. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and off I go for 1. And 2, 3, and 4, 5. Pull that knee in as much as you can. 6, breathing out as I pull that knee in. 7, breathe in as I drop that foot back down to the floor. 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so that's 10 of those. I'm going to go on to the more advanced level of these because these ones are easy enough. I find them easy enough. Some of you, if you haven't done Pilates before, mightn't find them that easy, but the next level on would be to pull the knee in and maybe straighten out the leg like that each time, which a lot of you would be able for. 3, 4, 5, breathing out as I pull that knee in. 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more is 10. I'm going to relax those legs back down to the floor. I'm going to do a full body stretch. I'm going to bring those arms up over the head. I'm going to push those shoulders and elbows into the floor and push them up over my head as much as I can. Feeling a really deep stretch in the arms and shoulders as I push them into the floor, and feeling a really deep stretch in the abs as well. Really lovely stretch. This one feels great. Stretching that full body really. Big deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Again, hold it for about 30 seconds. And my next exercise is going to be double leg stretches. So we did single leg stretches. This time we're going to do double leg stretches, same as the single legs, except this time we're going to pull the two knees in together and then drop them back down to the floor, dropping those hands down by my side. Again, same applies with the head, neck and shoulders off the floor if you can. Keep that chin off the chest. Make sure there's space between the chin and the chest all the time for any of the exercise that you're doing. Space for a tennis ball or an apple. Again, you can rest your head, neck and shoulders back down on the floor if you're finding any strain or pain in your head, neck and shoulders as you're doing the exercises. So, off I go. 3, 2, 1, and off I go. Pulling the two knees in and back down to the floor. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to do one more is 10, and then I'm going to, again, like the single leg stretches, I'm going to show you a little bit more of an advanced version, and the more advanced version is this one where you're pulling the knees in and you're straightening out the legs each time. Now it's a good bit more advanced, but if you want to try it, then go ahead. If you're used to doing beginner's Pilates, some of you that have been coming to the classes are really well used to doing the classes, so you're well able for this exercise. But if you're not, then go back to the other way of dropping those feet back down to the floor. 7, breathing out as you bring those knees in, breathing in on the way out. 8, 9, and one more is 10. And I'm going to stretch again. I'm going to relax those legs back down to the floor. I'm going to put my head on the floor. I'm going to bring my left arm out to the side, palm facing up towards the ceiling, left knee up as high as you can. Grab that left knee with your right hand. Tuck that toe behind the knee and pull that knee all the way over to the right hand side as much as you can, keeping that left arm on the floor. Feeling a really deep stretch from hip to shoulder on the left hand side. And back to the center for 20 seconds again. Right arm out to the side, palm facing upwards, right knee up as high as you can. Grab that right knee with your left hand, tucking that toe in behind the knee, and pull that knee all the way over to the left hand side. Keeping that right arm on the floor, feeling a really deep stretch from hip to shoulder on the right hand side. Really feeling that stretch in the hip all on that right hand side. Back to the center. So I am going to roll over onto my left hand side. And I am going to do a little bit of leg work. So rolling over onto the left hand side, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to support my head with my hand like that. If that's comfortable for me, if that's not comfortable for me, support my head with my hand. Then I'm going to rest my head on my arm like that and wrap my arm around it. So whichever is most comfortable. This one's most comfortable for me. I'm going to make sure I'm in a straight line from my head to my shoulder, to my ankle, to my knee, to my hip, on a straight line. I'm going to bend my lower leg back to 90 degrees. I'm going to put my right hand on my head. I'm going to push my right hip forward, point my right toe downwards. I'm going to do some leg lifts, straight up and down for 10. I'm going to breathe out on the way up, in on the way down. 3, 2 big deep breath in, 1, and off we go for 1. And 2, 3, making sure that we keep that hip pushed forward all the time. 4, toe pointed downwards. 5, this particular exercise. 6, 7, a lot more beneficial in this position. 8, 9, and 10. We're only going to do 10 of those. We have done 20, I think, in some beginners classes. We're going to do 10 today. I'm going to change my right hand position to in front of my chest like that, fingers pointed up towards me. I'm going to make sure that I'm holding myself in place with that right hand. Again, making sure I'm in a straight line. My head position is the same. Support my head with my hand. And this time I'm going to kick forward and backward for 10, okay? So breathing in on the way forward this time, out on the way back. 3, 2, 1, and off I go for 1. And 2. And while I'm doing that, I'm holding myself in place with my right hand. 3, 4, 5. Breathing in on the way forward, out on the way back. 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more is 10. And I'm going to do 10 of those. Normally we do 20 in a beginner's class. We have done 20 in a beginner's class. I'm doing 10. Do 20 if you're used to doing them. Do 30 if you're even more used to doing them. If you're into intermediate, if you're doing the intermediate or advanced classes. So, last exercise in this position, and what I'm going to do last is I'm going to do a plank in this position. So, beginner's plank. I'm going to put my left elbow underneath my shoulder. I'm going to bend my lower leg back to 90 degrees. Okay, I'm going to move over on the mat a little bit more so that my back foot is on the mat. So making sure I'm in a straight line. I'm going to come up for 30 seconds and Jenna's going to count 30 seconds for me in 3, 2, 1, and off we go. Pushing up from the outside of the foot on top, my right foot, inside of the foot on top, the outside of the left knee, outside of the left foot, inside of the right foot. Holding that position, really feeling that side plank. 30 seconds is enough for beginners, side plank. And I can really feel that, working those obliques.
3,
2, 1, and back down. Well done. So while I'm in this position, I'm going to straighten out that bottom leg. I'm going to grab this top leg and I'm going to stretch it. I'm going to bring that heel up, bring the knee back, and stretch that quad, the front of the leg. So I'm bringing that knee back and I'm bringing that heel up towards my bum as much as I can. Really feeling that stretch, and again a 30-second stretch. So hold on that for about roughly 30 seconds. Changing over onto the right hand side. So we're going to do the same on the right. I'm going to support the head with the hand or rest the head on the arm, whichever we're most comfortable with. So this one or this one, making sure I'm in a straight line from ankle to knee to hip to shoulder. Okay. I'm going to bend that lower leg back to 90 degrees. Left hand is on the head. I'm going to push that left hip forward, point that left toe downwards. Leg lifts in 3, 2, 1, and off we go for 1. Breathing out on the way up, 2, in on the way down. 3, really feeling that in the hips, in the glutes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I'm only going to do 10. Normally we do 20 as I've said, or more if you're used to doing them, but I'm going to do 10 today and leave it up to you how many you want to do. So changing my left hand position to my front on my chest, holding myself in place, making sure I'm still in a straight line, checking my body, still in a straight line. This time I'm going to do some leg kicks forward and backward, breathing in on the way forward, out on the way back. 3, 2, 1, and off I go for 1. Holding myself in place with that left hand and using my core muscles to hold myself in place as well. 4, 5, 6, big kick forward. 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that's 10 of those done. Again, you can do more, you can do 20 if you want to, more if you're more advanced. But for beginners, 10 is enough, 20 max, okay? So, last exercise, I'm coming up and I'm gonna do a plank. So making sure my elbows directly reach my shoulder. I'm bending my lower leg back to 90 degrees, my right leg, I'm going to move over on the mat again, a little bit more, so that I'm fully on the mat. Make sure I'm in a straight line. I'm going to push up from the inside of the left foot, that's on top, the outside of the right knee, that's on the bottom, and the outside of the right foot, like that. I'm going to hold that for 30 seconds, making sure that my elbow is directly beneath my shoulder. 30 seconds, so about 10 seconds gone. Last few seconds, really feeling that in the obliques, working the obliques. If you find it hard to stay up, then go down, take a rest, and come back up again.
3,
2, 1, and back down to the floor. So I'm going to stretch to finish this section of the Pilates class. So straighten out that bottom leg, grabbing that left foot with the left hand, bringing that left knee up, bringing that left knee back, left ankle up towards the bone. Holding that stretch, really feel that stretch, the quad and the front of the leg. That's part 2 of our Pilates, beginner's Pilates. Coming back in a few seconds with part 3 with my terrible socks again. See you then.